What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to another video. We have something pretty cool today. We're going to teach you some advanced glitch techniques. There's a lot of new things that we're going to talk about today that we haven't talked about on the channel, and we're going to create some really interesting things. So I want to mention here first, I'm also going to be giving you guys a template which you guys can download. I'm going to put it on my website for maybe $5. And essentially what this template is instead of you having to go through and do these steps every time, you can just drag and drop your footage into here, and it sort of just makes it easier for if you're just trying to create this effect over the long term. But I recommend you guys watch the tutorial because you're going to be able to learn how to customize this, tailor this, put your own spin on it, add your own individuality, and learn the ins and outs of this. There's a lot more benefit in watching the tutorial than there is in just downloading some template. But I'm going to show you guys here. I made a few different versions for people using 2018, 2019, or 2020 version of After Effects. Essentially, it's the exact same thing you guys saw at the beginning of those little example clips, but you just need to replace your footage. To do that, you just need to right click, go to replace footage, and click file, choose whatever shot you want, and then there you go. We're going to talk about how to actually use it in the tutorial itself, so hope you guys do enjoy. We can bring our clips into Adobe Premiere. I have some already exported here, so I'll just click and drag them in here. So I'm going to right click on it, and as usual, replace with After Effects composition. Bada bing, bada boom. If you guys have After Effects, you can just start in After Effects already. You don't have to use the dynamic link. I just use it because I like being able to work between Premiere and After Effects. All right, here we are in After Effects. Let's go ahead and create this interesting 3D glitch effect. First things first, you're going to want to select your footage here. We're going to click Control D to duplicate it, just like that. And next, what you want to do is you want to right click on that duplication, and you want to click pre-compose, just like that. So now we can go ahead and take this pre-comp, and we can maybe just name it whatever you want. We'll just click 1. So once you have your duplicated layer and you've pre-composed it, that's a very important step. So make sure you are pre-composing. You're going to want to double click into that pre-comp here, and then you're going to see your original footage. Now with that original footage in your pre-comp 1, I'm going to Control D and duplicate that again. So Control D. So now we have a duplication within our pre-comp. And in this pre-comp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to pre-compose that as well. I'm just going to name this threshold 1, and you guys are going to see in a moment because we're going to go and find the threshold effect next. So go over to your effects and presets. You're going to want to search for the threshold effect. So you have your CC threshold and you have your normal threshold. We can just use our normal threshold, but this is why I want you guys to watch the tutorial, because you can use CC threshold to experiment. There's a lot of different ways to do this once you guys get the hang of it, but take threshold for now. Place that on your pre-comp in your pre-comp duplication. It gets confusing, so just follow step by step. You're going to see that everything turns kind of blackish, whitish, and if we change the slider, this looks pretty cool in of itself with the shot, kind of like a horror movie effect. But we're going to put this dial at around halfway. So I'm going to go with around this 16,000 mark here. Now the last thing we have to do in our pre-comp is select our bottom footage, our original footage here. Go to where it says track matte. If you're not seeing that, you may need to click toggle switches and modes. If you're in the newer version of After Effects, I think they might have taken that away and it's all just here. But select your track matte and go to Luma Matte Threshold 1. So now you're going to see the color just come back, but you still have only the pieces selected from that threshold effect. Now we can go back to our main composition, so you can click here, or of course you can go to your project bin and you can just double click on your main comp. You're going to want to click this 3D layer here. So you'll see this checkbox. Go ahead and check that for your layer 1. You guys aren't seeing that, again, toggle switches and modes button, depending on what version of After Effects you are using. Now here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to select this duplication that says 1 here, and we're going to click Control D again, and we're going to right click and rename this to 2. And we're going to do that 9 more times. But here's a little catch. We're not just going to keep spamming Control D like that. So we actually need to make it so that these compositions aren't linked together, so that when I click in here and change something, it doesn't change the effects from our first composition. The way to do that is what you need to do. It's a little annoying, but you need to select this comp in the actual project bin and click Control D in the project bin. So you click up here, go to project, and you see now we have 2 in the project bin as well as in the composition. So we can select 2 in the project bin, hold Alt, and just drag it over to here. So now it just makes it its own unique composition and they won't be linked, so you won't be messing up different values. So now we'll click Control D again, and we'll do the same in the project bin. Control D, Alt click, and drag, Control D, Control D, Alt click and drag. It's a little bit annoying, but it is necessary just so that you're not kind of screwing everything up as you work along, because again, these linked compositions, if you change one thing in that comp, it'll change everything else. So doing this ensures that you're having a fresh composition with its own settings every single time so that we can create the proper effect. So did it pretty quick. It was a little annoying, but now we have 10 different duplications on top of our original footage. They're all 3D layers, and now we're ready to go in and start making adjustments. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop into composition 2 here. Once you're in composition 2, you need to select the threshold, which is in there, go to your effect controls, and you just need to bump up the level. And this is very important. Bumping down the level, you're going to get a very different looking effect. So take it, I'm just going to bump it up a little bit, maybe 1700, pop back into my main composition. And I'm going to repeat those steps. So I'm going to go into composition 3, and we're going to bump this up to maybe around 17918. You don't have to use the exact values. You can choose whatever you want, as long as you're just bumping the value up and not down. So going back to our main comp, let's make sure that these are all unique compositions. So if we go into comp 2, this should be 17059. If we go into comp 3, this is 17918. And then again, comp 1, this is a different number. If these are all the same number when you go into the comps, that means that you didn't do that linking, the alt dragging in the project bin correctly. That's why we do it, just so there's no confusion. So moving forward, comp 4, you just go to the effect controls. It's very easy. You just want to bump this up. So our last one was 79. Let's make this one maybe like 185. Back again. And we keep doing the same thing. Just go into the next composition and just make sure that this value is going up a bit more. If there's faster ways to automate this, let me know in the comments down below if there's some sort of expression, and I'll be sure to share that. Give it a heart. But there you go. So these are all set up. Now we just need to create this slider control for our actual glitch. You might be thinking, I'm doing nothing here. I can't tell what's actually happening. So to actually see the hard work that we've been doing here with all this automation, to see the actual glitch effect, what we need to do is we need to right click in this gray area. You can also go up to layer, new, and we're going to create a null object. We're going to right click on that null object, and we're going to rename this to glitch control, just like that. Or you can just keep it, say null to whatever. We're just labeling it to keep it a little bit more thorough. So in this glitch control, this is basically going to be a slider that allows us to have more glitching or less glitching. To add that slider, let's do that now. Let's go to our effects and presets, and we're going to search for a slider. So grab your slider control, place that on your glitch control null layer here. So now we have a slider, and all we need to do is actually link this to our layers here. Now to do that, what you want to do is open up the transform options for your layer. So click and open, and you're going to see your position, your scale, your X, Y rotation, since this is a 3D layer. If you're not seeing these, make sure that this is a 3D layer beforehand. What you want to do here is you want to right click on position, and you want to go to separate dimensions. That way, instead of having our X, Y, and Z values like this, we can see our individual X, Y, and Z. We can now link specifically to that. So we're going to be changing our Z position, which is the moving forward or backward. It's this blue axis as you see here. We're going to do that for each one, and we're going to use a quick little expression here to make this easier. So you can copy and paste the expression, which is in the description down below. This is our expression here, so I'm going to select it, right click it, and copy it, and I'm going to go to our Z position here. And on this little stopwatch at our starting position, I'm going to hold down Alt on our keyboard again, and I'm just going to click the stopwatch. You're going to see this is going to turn red. It's going to open up our expression editor. Since I copied that expression here, right click, Control C, or just right click copy, we can just click inside this expression editor. If you're not seeing that, make sure you open up the actual value and just Control V, and it'll paste it in. So now this is saying this comp layer is connecting to the slider control in our null. To actually connect it, you're going to see that it says null 3. You want to make sure this is whatever you named your null. So I named mine glitch control. So I'm going to change null 3 to say glitch control, like that. And now this is going to be linked. So simple as that. So now if I go up to my glitch control, you'll see if I change my slider, it's now changing the Z position. So you'll see this is -257, if I change my slider, is now negative 482. So we're going to do this for all our layers, and at the end we'll have this one slider that's going to be able to change the full glitch and get the effect we want. We're just going to copy this expression here, right click and copy. We're going to go into number 2 here. We're going to open up transform. We're going to right click on position. Separate the dimensions on layer 2. Again, you're going to hold down Alt, click on that stopwatch, and you're just going to paste in your expression. Now the difference is what we're going to do on the next expression is for every layer that we go up, we're just going to go multiplied by 2. The next one will be multiplied by 3. So click multiplied by 2 on your second duplication. Go to number 3, and we're going to do the same thing. Open it up, right click on position, separate the dimensions, click your Z position here. Again, if you're not seeing that, it's because it's not a 3D layer. With your Z position, Alt click, paste your expression, and this time we do multiplied by 3. So the multiplied sign, again, Shift 8 to get the little star for multiplied by 3. So again, it's a lot of new things that we talk about on this channel. We're talking about expressions. We're going to create a slider control. All this information I think can help you guys not just create this effect, but a lot of other stuff. And we just keep doing that. I'm probably going to speed the video up here. Quick little tip, if you want to save some time while doing this, if you don't want to open this up, open transform, you can just select the layer, click P, it'll open up position, then you can right click, separate the dimensions, Alt click the Z, and then repeat. Just paste the expression, times 9, and then we're going to do the same for layer 10. We're going to do times 10. All right, guys, so we went ahead and did it. If you did everything correctly, you can just select your glitch control here, take your slider, and we can actually start creating our effect. So if we pull to the negative here, you're going to see this is the actual kind of 3D towards you. So pulling to the left again. If you pull to the right, everything's going to do the same thing, but it's going to look more like it's being extruded. You'll see it's more of kind of like a tunnel. It gets a little bit more sloppier doing it that way. So I think it looks better doing it the negative way, as you can see. And this is going to look different for every bit of footage you use. It's basically affecting only the light parts of the footage, so keep that in mind. So you'll see that the darker parts aren't really having this 3D extrusion, but the lighter parts are, which is a really cool part of it. Now, the reason why we do this with this glitch slider control, one, it's organized, so instead of having to go through and keyframe everything hand by hand, this makes it way easier. Number 2, we can do so much with this actual slider, so we can keyframe this to create some really cool stuff. So let's put it at 0. Let's click this keyframe here at our starting position, so put it at the beginning of the video, make it 0, keyframe the slider. Let's move forward a bit. And then what we can do is we can actually take this value and we can make this a little bit extruded. So now what this is going to do, let's open up here. Let's open up effects. You'll see the keyframes themselves. Here they are. So now if we play this, we have an animation where this 3D glitch is going to basically grow out of our footage, which is pretty cool. And you can do a lot with this as well. You'll see these keyframes. You can actually highlight them, right click. You can use keyframe assistant and you can put in some easy ease, which basically just makes this animation a lot more smooth. You can even click this little button here. You'll see this graph editor. If you select that, select the keyframes first, then select the graph editor. You can actually use this graph editor to make this animation a lot more smooth, or maybe smoother in one area. You can do some crazy animations instead of just having it grow. Maybe you just want to have it grow, and I mean, you can really just mess with the slider here. Maybe put it positive, move a bit, make it negative, move a bit, positive, and that's going to make this quick moving 3D glitch like you just saw. If you want to make that faster, you can move the keyframes closer together, and you're going to see this happen very fast. Here's what that looks like. Bam. Kind of like a little pop. Also, quickly jumping back in here, I figured this out while I was editing this video, so sorry about there not being any green screen, but I just wanted to say this quickly. So say you have the effect already completed here. Since these are all 3D layers, you guys can actually right click in this gray space or go to layer, new, create a camera. We'll click OK. And with this camera, you can click C on your keyboard to toggle the camera controls here. You can actually rotate and see what we're actually creating, all the different layers, as you can see. And you can actually make some really cool stuff with this. So say you make the glitch, let's zoom in with the camera here. You can animate the camera to get these kind of like 3D perspectives. I've seen some of these like apps on Instagram that do something similar. So say at this point here, let's open up our camera transform options. and keyframe all of these. Let's maybe like move a second, rotate it using this camera. We'll click C, the full rotation camera, and then let's move a bit and let's rotate again. So now we just made this kind of 3D perspective animation there. So there's a lot you can do with this. It's cool that there's the 3D built into it. It's cool that there's the effect controls built into it. Anyways, I'll get rid of this camera. And the last thing I want to mention, again, there's so many things that you can do with the slider control. Another cool thing is you can actually sync it to audio, which is really interesting. So say we have a song that we would like to drag in here. Song here, one of these audio files, drag that into the timeline. Once that's imported, we're going to right click on the song. We're going to go to Keyframe Assistant and we're going to click Convert Audio to Keyframes. Now you'll see we have a new null here, Audio Amplitude. So now we can actually, so you can open up that audio amplitude and you'll see all of the wavelengths of the audio, of the actual audio file here, are now converted to keyframes, which we can link to our slider or anything else. And that's how you can get this audio reacting. So that's another cool thing you can do with this. So let's open up both channels. You'll see the slider here. Let's open up our glitch control. Here's our slider for our glitch control. You can select the slider for your glitch control, Alt click this little stopwatch here. You'll see the numbers turn red. And then you can take this pick whip tool that opens up once you've done that, and you can connect it to the slider of our audio amplitude keyframes. So you want to put it on the both channels instead of left or right. Put it on both channels and just connect it to the slider. You'll see this box pops up. Bam. And now every jump in the song, our glitch effect will react to. Now you're not really seeing it here because as we drag along, if you look in the top left, this is like very minimal. It's kind of doing tiny jumps. So to fix that, we can just add a little multiplied sign at the end of this expression. Just open up your slider for your glitch control. Here's your expression. Let's maybe multiply this by 10 so that it's a lot more kind of pronounced. So we'll let that kind of render. Here's what that looks like. So now our glitch is matching the beat of the song. If you want to have the reverse effect, you want it to be 3D extrusion instead of kind of this tunnel, make that multiplied by -10 or -20. Maybe you want to make it crazy. Let's do multiplied by -20. And now check this out. We'll render this. And here's what this looks like. As you can see, it's reacting to the beat of the song. So super cool. Again, I created a template. It's on my website for $5. So if you don't want to have to do those steps over and over, I wanted to create the tutorial because it's great information to know for your future projects. But if you don't want to create this, if you don't want to have to do those steps over and over, you can create your own template for free by following this tutorial. Or if you want to save the time, you can go to my website for $5. We have a download up for you. All you need to do is purchase that and you're going to get the After Effects template folder. Right click, replace footage with a file. I'm going to go over to 3D glitch test shots here. And let's just test it out on some of these other looking shots to see what it looks like. So this kind of hard to see, but as you can see here, this kind of highlights in the background are being 3D extruded. And of course, if you want to customize it, you just go to your glitch control. There's already a couple of keyframes made here for you. But if you want to do it yourself, just click this to delete the keyframe to make your own. Let's drag and then drag. So check that out. Here's a cool little 3D extrusion. And all relevant links will be in the description of this, as well as the expression. Make sure you copy and save that, or make sure you add this video to a playlist. So if you want to create the effect for free, of course, you can come back here. You have it saved in a playlist. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting, and I'll see you guys in the next one.